1 in 5 women in the United States have experienced some kind of sexual violence, whether that be attempted or completed rape. Hello everyone, welcome back to Rewind and Reflect. Today we're going to be going over tape 10 with Bryce Walker, where Jessica is unconscious and Bryce sexually assaults her while Hannah watches in the closet. Obviously, in the podcast today we're going to be talking about rape and sexual assault, so content warning right there. And now let's get into it. You may be wondering, what are rape and sexual assault? First, it's important to understand the definitions. Sexual assault is any unwanted sexual contact or behavior without consent. This can include unwanted touching, harassment, pressure, or forced sexual acts. Rape is a form of sexual assault that involves forced sexual activity without consent. One of the most important words in this discussion is consent. Consent means giving clear permission or agreement. Consent should be freely given, informed, and mutual. If someone is pressured, threatened, scared, asleep, unconscious, or unable to fully understand the situation, then consent cannot be properly given. A lot of people think sexual assault is always committed by strangers, but statistics show that victims often know the person who assaulted them. It could be a friend, dating partner, classmate, so it's pretty much just people they trust. That can make the experience even more confusing and traumatic because it involves betrayal and fear from someone familiar. The effects on survivors in many different ways. Some effects are emotional, some are physical, and others can last for years. Emotionally, survivors may experience fear, anxiety, depression, anger, shame, or guilt. Some people struggle with the trust afterwards, and many feel unsafe around others. Others may blame themselves even though the assault was never their fault. Many survivors also experience post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD. PTSD can include flashbacks, nightmares, panic attacks, and constant fear. The effects can also impact school, friendships, sports, and family relationships. Some students may have trouble concentrating in class or lose motivation to do activities they once enjoyed. One important thing to remember is that everyone reacts differently. Some survivors openly talk about what happened, while others stay silent for years. There's no correct way for someone to react to trauma. Many cases go unreported, and that's a major issue. There were many reasons for this. Some survivors are afraid nobody will believe them. Others fear being judged, blamed, or embarrassed. Sometimes victims know the person who hurt them and worry about causing conflict or losing relationships. Teenagers especially may stay silent because they're scared of rumors spreading on school or online. Victim blaming also plays a huge role. Victim blaming happens when the people question what the victim was wearing or where they were or what they were doing instead of focusing on the action of the person who committed the assault. Questions like, why didn't you leave? Or why didn't you say no louder? Can make survivors feel guilty even though the responsibility always belongs to the offender. This is why creating supportive environments is so important. Survivors are more likely to seek help if they know what they'll be listened to and taken seriously. Media and society can both help and hurt conversations about sexual assault. On one hand, movements like the #MeToo helped many survivors speak out and share their experiences. It showed people that sexual violence is more common than they realize and that survivors aren't alone. At the same time, social media can spread misinformation, jokes, or harmful comments that make survivors afraid to come forward. Movies, TV shows, and books sometimes portray assault unrealistically or use it only for drama. That can create misunderstandings about what consent, healthy relationships actually look like. This is why education matters. Schools and communities need to teach students about respect, consent, boundaries, and healthy communication. Preventing sexual violence starts with education and respect. People should understand that consent is necessary in every relationship. Listening to boundaries and respecting someone is extremely important. Friends can also make a difference. If someone feels uncomfortable or unsafe at a party or a social event, stepping in or getting help could protect them. Supporting survivors is also important. If someone trusts you enough to share their experience, the best thing you can do is listen calmly and avoid blaming them, and encourage them to seek help from trusted adults. Even simple words like, I believe you, or it wasn't your fault, can mean a lot to someone who is scared or alone. Communities can also support prevention by including education programs, providing counseling, resources, and creating safer environments for students and young people. To conclude, rape and sexual assault are serious issues that affect millions of people and leave long-lasting emotional and psychological effects on survivors. Talking about these topics may feel uncomfortable, but staying silent only allows misinformation and the stigma to continue. Education, awareness, and support are important steps to prevention. Everyone deserves to feel safe, respected, and heard. By understanding consent, supporting survivors, and speaking out against harmful behavior, society can help create a culture where sexual violence is taken seriously and victims aren't blamed for what happened to them. Thank you for listening to Rewind and Reflect, and have a good day.